All right, you're live and you're live. Who knows if it's gonna? I wrote to YouTube and I let them know there were issues with video playing and the YouTube portion. You're gonna be able to hear me. I'm gonna have to kind of follow up to see if this is gonna go on here. So bear with me 1 second here, folks, and then we're gonna get started. I need to bring up both feeds. All right. So, you can hear me, but can you hear a video? That's not pleasant to listen to, is it? All right, let's hold on a second here. What the fuck? Fucking Christ. All right, I apologize. I don't know. YouTube's still fucked up. They don't like me. I know we've got more viewers that have been tuning in on YouTube, and it's fucked. I wrote to them. They haven't gotten back to me on what the fuck is going on with the audio and what the deal is. I apologize about that. I hope that the rest of it's going to come through if I'm not in the feed fucking it up. But let's get started with today's show and just kind of go from there. And then right now it's primarily going to be on Rumble. The show's on YouTube as well. I've taken a break from putting the show on the audio portion because it just wasn't getting out there. A lot of audio things are kind of dropping. Sites are dropping, and then like new ones are popping up. So I'm going to have to do my homework on what new ones show up. But hello, everyone, and welcome to the Relief Valve Podcast. We're going to get in today's show. Today is Saturday the 5th. I've lost, as always, I've lost all conception of time and space. So I have no fucking idea where we're at. I've been out of work on an injury, waiting to go back. So, I don't even pay attention to days anymore. I just know that it's the weekend. So let's start off with, which has been kind of nice, by the way, to just kind of zone out. This must be how celebrities feel when they're just on their fucking yacht and they have no idea what's going on. And then all of a sudden their agent calls and goes, "Hey, do you want to do a flick next month?" And they're like, "What month is it?" Like that. But a real world person, and I have to get back to life. So in kind of breaking news here, this happened the other day about 2 evenings ago. The Dockworkers have reached a tentative agreement and will suspend the port strike until January. Let me kind of quickly tell you guys about what a tentative agreement is. I am a union member. The tentative agreement is essentially it's a handshake agreement. Both sides have committed to putting all of the agreements that they have down now on paper, and having that agreement, both sides agree to go back to work again, because it's going to take like 3 months for them to get really lawyers on both sides to make sure all the wording is appropriate and as agreed upon, to get that on paper and for both sides to formalize it as an official agreement. So if you got the tentative agreement, but you're waiting to do all this, they would be on strike for the next 3 months if they made no changes whatsoever. So with the tentative agreement, essentially the handshake agreement is both sides to agree to a middle ground they're both comfortable with, and the union is agreeing to go back to work. And while they go back to work, they will work under their old contract. So the one that just ended will essentially be extended. They'll work under those rules and those protections, so they always have a contract. And then when this one's ratified and both sides have agreed on it and it's official, that this new contract will take over and the other one will be eliminated. So that's essentially the tentative agreement. They've returned back to work. You don't have to worry about anything. By the way, paper towels, toilet paper, and all that is made in the United States. Please don't fuck the rest of us over and buy everything that's out there. You don't need to. Striking U.S. dock workers will return to work Friday after reaching a tentative agreement, so they returned yesterday, with employers on an improved wage offer. The conditional offer was a 62% wage increase. So these fucking guys are making like $60, $70 an hour right now. Not right now. It's going to be over the course of 5 years. It's just like us where I am. It's going to be incremental raises over the course of 5 years in order to get to that. But still pretty hefty, and I'm only angry about it because I'm jealous. We got a pretty decent wage where I am, but we're not doing as fucking good as the longshoremen. I'll tell you that. I need to get like, I don't know, a longshoreman sugar daddy or something, because their fucking guys are doing all right. Longshoremen, are there women as longshoremen? Are there a lot of them? Are you looking for a middle-aged white guy? Because I'm willing to like clean your house or something if you want to fucking pay me this money. The offer's on the table for the next 90 days. No deal is reached within that time frame. The proposed wage hike will be pulled from the table. So they've agreed to push the strike to January. So if anything changes, anyone backs out or reneges or whatever, it's fucked, and they're going to just go right back to the strike line again. For most of the time, 9 times out of 10, if you've got a tentative agreement, you're good to go. The International Longshoremen's Association, which represents 45,000 striking U.S. workers, said the union and USMX have reached a tentative agreement on wages and have agreed to extend the master contract until January 15th to return to the bargaining table to negotiate all other outstanding issues. Effective immediately, all current job actions will cease and all work covered by the master contract will resume, the union said in a statement. Dock workers at dozens of ports in the U.S. went on strike Tuesday for the first time in nearly 50 years over better wages and the use of automation. Have you seen the pictures of this fucking guy's house, the leader of the ILA? His fucking mansion and his yacht and shit? It's crazy what this fucking asshole makes. 2 things can be true at once. The union is a good thing, and the people working within it are good people trying to take care of their families. The higher up fucking shitbags like him that run the head of these unions, like Harold Daggett and like Sean O'Brien, are overpaid, high up overpaid shitbags that pretend they care about the members and they don't. It's all about blowing their hot air and then pretending that they're trying to come up with the best thing for them. And this fucking scumbag is living the life while these guys are getting sweating and dirty and bleeding on the fucking docks. I understand he used to work on the docks himself and he worked his way up. I get it, but the guy is making a ridiculous amount. The U.S. Maritime Alliance, USMX, but at the same time, this fucking Maritime Alliance, USMX, is made up of the biggest shitbags. One of them is a Canadian company that's on the board of directors for the Maritime Alliance. Another one is a communist China-controlled shipping company. They're on that, so they're negotiating with communists for this new contract. It's crazy. So, which represents support employees had previously raised its offer to a 50% increase in wages over the next 6 years. Despite mounting pressure, President Biden said over the weekend he would not intervene, saying he doesn't believe in Taft-Hartley because it would fuck the Democrats over completely if he did. A reference to the 1947 legislation that curtailed unions. The strike raised fears of disruptions in the supply chain. An analysis by J.P. Morgan estimated the daily cost of a port strike by East and Gulf Coast port workers would cost the U.S. economy between $3.8 billion and $4.5 billion per day as operations slow. So they're back to work. It seems for the most part they got what they wanted. And, there you go. So now we're moving on to the hurricane victims here and just more information coming out. There's just some crazy stuff. First, you've had regular people like you and I that are taking out their ATVs, flying a helicopter if they've got one, trying to fly supplies to the ravaged areas and help people that are stuck. And FEMA and the U.S. government have been telling them no. Pete Buttigieg, because he'd be judging your boyfriend's booty. He's been telling everybody, you can't fly drones over there. You can't try to find people or check out the ravaged areas or doing anything, which this is America. That's bullshit. And then when Elon Musk brought that up on X, and I commented on some of that as well, Elon Musk said, Why are you telling people they can't fly over those areas and they can't fly drones? And then Buttigieg was like, oh, that's not true. That's people disseminating that, and that's fake news. He fucking said you can't fly drones and can't fly over the area. Local authorities have been threatening to arrest the guy that's been flying the helicopter and trying to help people. So, yes, it is true. So the government, the information coming out about FEMA that I personally didn't know, that one of the reasons they shut down these regular people like you and I that are trying to fly in supplies and trying to help these people that are trapped is because FEMA makes these deals with these vendors where they buy their product or their fucking shit, and then that's what they disseminate to the people who are stuck or are suffering in an area. And that's why they tell everybody else, don't bring your own shit, because it's like you're competing with them. It's absolutely ridiculous to me. I don't give a fuck what company you bought it from. I don't give a fuck what food manufacturer, whoever it is giving your stupid sandwich or your fucking dog food. Fuck you. The people are trying to help the people. FEMA's got nothing to do with them. FEMA should mind its goddamn business and just help the people in whatever way it's fucking doing, even though, as I'm going to read to you, they're half broke because they've been giving all their money to illegal immigrants. But in the meantime, you should leave the American people alone to help each other. That's how America works. If I want to go help my neighbor, I can do it. I don't need permission from FEMA, and I don't need permission from the government. But Biden's here. This is something that turned into a little bit of a thing. So first, I'm going to go with the White House. Karine Jean-Pierre, the world's worst press secretary. And for YouTube, if the sound is still fucked up, there's captions down here. Being questioned about how Trump's claim, which is all of our claim really, that Biden and his corrupt regime have been having FEMA use all of their money on illegal immigrants. Here's some of that. Anytime they keep saying it's not true, it's a false statement, you know they're lying. When they have to keep repeating the same bullshit, you know it's a fucking lie. Doesn't her hair look like a mop? She's a DEI hire. She's a black lesbian. Doesn't her hair look like a mop? Oh, those fucking fact checkers, they're outstanding. The ones that when you tell the truth, they go, oh, this is incorrect because of blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, asshole, that's 100% true. Bullshit. This is what they do. Trump never fucking did that. This is what they do. The Democrats project. They take everything that they're doing, and then they go, oh, you know what? We got a border crisis because of Trump. Well, Trump hasn't been in office in 4 years, so how the fuck is he doing anything on the border? It's you fucking scumbags that are doing it. I don't know if I had something earlier. This is my X account. If you want it, where after the leftist ban, I got back on here, so we're on our way to like 200 followers, and I had posted some stuff here. Here it is right here. Relief Valve Podcast at MattPod22511. You can join the show here if you want to follow. I do regular updates on this. I'm on it regularly. So I put right here, Buttigieg's order, Buttigieg grounding private drone flights in Hurricane Helene flood rescue zones, crashes and burns. You're hiding something something from the New York Post. Let's see if we got some video here. And that's just going to take me to the fucking news article. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg ordered private drone flights suspended in North Carolina's Hurricane Helene flood zone, sparking fierce outcry from those frustrated by the government's lackluster response to the deadly crisis. Drone pilots, do not fly your drone near or around rescue and recovery efforts for Hurricane Helene, the official .x account wrote. Tuesday afternoon, nearly a week after the storm brought near unprecedented flooding to the mountain region. Interfering with emergency response operations impact search and rescue operations on the ground. So they're trying to say that your drone flying in the air, either looking for people or surveying the damage, is getting in the way of their people on the ground doing their thing. The announcement continued. North Carolina has suffered the brunt of the death toll for last week's historic storm, the west of the state accounting for 94 of the more than 200 casualties confirmed by authorities so far, with hundreds more still unaccounted for. Despite these grim figures, many have expressed deep satisfaction or even anger with the tepid response from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which is on the verge of running out of funds after spending $640 million on the migrant crisis. So it's admitting right there. FEMA is on the verge of running out of funds after spending $640 million on the migrant crisis. I just played a video for you by Corinne Jean-Pierre, the lesbian, that said that this was a lie, that is Trump making it up, and that actually it was Trump that did it while he was in office. And here's Newsbreak, which is not a right-leaning source. They're either kind of left to middle of the road, really. And they're saying right here, FEMA has been wasting money on the migrant crisis, right? They've been housing these people. They've been putting them in hotels. They've been funding nonprofit organizations that go to the border, meet these fucking people as they're coming into the country, and then give them free supplies, food, water, emergency services. When I was still on TikTok, they kicked me off of it, and I don't deal with those fucks anymore. But when I was still on TikTok, there was a guy that was working with, I think, the Blaze. No, he was working with Alex Jones. He was one of his guys. He went to the border and he recorded these fucking, some Catholic charities or something, some church. These fucking anti-American pieces of shit. They had a tent and vehicles set up right at the border wall. And they were waiting for illegal immigrants to come into the country. And they brought them in. They gave them a medical, illegally. They brought them in, gave them a medical checkout, gave them any emergency supplies they might need, and then pointed them in the right direction to either Border Patrol to be picked up and tossed into the interior of the United States, or they pointed them in the right direction to get a bus to go whatever part of the country you want. This is all these fucking nonprofits. And I'm willing to bet that a fair amount of them are being funded by FEMA as well. So if you didn't already know she was an out-and-out liar, there's your proof right there. Here's some scenes from, there's a FEMA meeting here with Buttigieg pretending like he's part of it. Here are workers working in just absolutely, these areas are destroyed, even debris in the trees from the water being so high. Considering the maddeningly slow pace of the rescue effort, Buttigieg effectively ordered residents not to fend for themselves and instead put their trust in an agency many believe have already dropped the ball in adding insult to the injury. Imagine the government telling you, don't fend for yourself and try and figure this out. Rely on our shit organization to do it. You would think more eyes in the sky would be a good thing when there are people that need to be rescued, but what do I know, one ex-user replied. Your help is worse than doing nothing, seethed another. Others pointed out how private drones have been used to deliver items like insulin and baby formula to those in need, particularly those living in more remote terrain who have been largely cut off from the rest of the world since the storm. Private citizens, drones, and helicopters have been saving lives for days and still are. You should be ashamed, said another user. Some users felt the order was an effort to prevent citizen journalists from capturing the true extent of the damage on film. You're hiding something, a poster said accusingly. Buttigieg has also suffers a credibility problem in the eyes of many. His tenure of transportation secretary has been plagued by almost continuous problems, from Boeing's free fall to the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge to the rampant supply chain disruptions on the U.S. West Coast and elsewhere. How about his paternity leave for 2 months for a gay guy to adopt a kid, him and his husband? Everybody remember that? He took 2 months off. Anybody's wife, or you, the husband, the father, or your girlfriend or wife, did you guys get 2 months paid time off from work to go deal with your kid that you had naturally? How about the one you adopted? Did you get 2 months for that? These two gay guys did. They got to recover like they were in the hospital and popped it out of his ass. They needed to fucking recover from the adoption procedure. This scumbag's hasn't done a goddamn thing since he's been in office. This was the Diddy's party and showing everybody partying there. I've been putting a whole bunch of updates. John Rich said if he wanted to take down America, I'd deplete her strategic oil supply, burn through her emergency services funds, and assure her military was stretched thin and underfunded. Basically, I do what the Dems have already done. It's going to be dependent on the people when shit hits the fan. 100%. So, a shocking report from an anonymous source claims FEMA is actively blocking rescue efforts in North Carolina during the Hurricane Helene. Medvac helicopter teams training for emergency missions have allegedly been ordered to stand down. Where are we? Medevac been trained for emergency and allegedly ordered to stand down, halting both supply deliveries and the rescue of elderly residents trapped in a flooded nursing home. FEMA is intentionally sabotaging aid efforts, endangering lives in the process. Elon Musk has stated the SpaceX engineers are actively working to deliver Starlink terminals and supplies to disaster-stricken areas in North Carolina, but FEMA is reportedly not only failing to provide support, but is also blocking other efforts to help. So it's just to wait till the end. Let's see if these guys either catch more video or there's like a confrontation on the ground or something. I mean, look at the area itself. That's bad. I mean, it's wiped whole sections of homes and stores and everything out. All right, so that's all it is. I was waiting to see if there was like a confrontation or something like that. This is from Charlie Kirk. New bombshell allegations from FEMA whistleblowers help explain why the federal government's response to Hurricane Helene has been so horrendous. Gates has confirmed that hundreds, if not thousands, of service members were deployed to North Carolina by the Department of Defense have been sitting idle, waiting for FEMA, as Americans in North Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia are missing and dying. FEMA whistleblowers also tell Representative Gates that the department has wasted and misappropriated funds in the wake of Helene, which is exacerbating the emergency. Gates also confirms that FEMA funds that were supposed to be used for Americans surviving emergencies were instead used by NGOs, as I just said earlier on, to buy airline tickets for migrants, and that's not the only thing that they've done. FEMA whistleblowers detail wasted taxpayer funds and staff waiting in hotels during Hurricane Helene. So it's disgusting what FEMA actually is. You think FEMA's going to get called in and people are going to get helped. It's absolute bullshit. No, they're not. And their cap, allegedly, this is how the Democrats are defending what these people are getting over what illegal immigrants are getting. The cap on funds you get per person or per household, $750. That's why the people in Hawaii got fucked over in $750. That's why the people in North Carolina are getting fucked and getting $750. You just lost your house. Your family's living on the roof or something, hiding from floods, or you have nothing now, and Dementia Joe and Comrade Kamala are going to give you $750. In the meantime, at the taxpayers' expense, we are spending millions upon millions on illegals that should not be here, the criminals that are a part of all of those illegals that are attacking innocent tax-paying citizens. We're paying for them to stay in hotels. We're paying for money on their EBT cards. We're paying for the credit cards they're getting handed, and then the driver's licenses they're going to get so they can vote and circumvent our election, take our vote away by voting for the Democrats who are giving away taxpayer-funded money, right? We don't get a choice in the matter. If I could hit a button and say tomorrow, don't give any more of my money to illegals and a bunch of shitbags, I would do that, but we can't do it. When the Democrats pretend they're the saviors of all these people, and they're going to get their votes when they attempt to put them legally on the voter rolls. It's a goddamn disgrace. So here was Biden talking here. Conservatives joke Biden made Trump campaign ad by calling Harris a major player in everything the administration does. So as you know, Biden has been Kamala. If you've wondered why, it's like you don't hardly ever hear about Biden as much as you used to anymore. And they're like the Democrats are pretending to forget about him. The Comrade Kamala has been trying to distance herself from Dementia Joe as much as humanly possible. She's trying to pretend like I was never there. I had no idea what that dude was doing. I sat in my office and I played solitaire, and he was kind of doing his own thing, and I was in the dark. I have no clue. Now that I'm here, I'm your savior, and I'm here to help. That's what Comrade Kamala wants you to believe. But here, and a lot of people are wondering if Joe did this on purpose, he links everything that they're doing to help everyone that are like abject failures to Kamala that, hey, she's right here with me. She's part of all of this too. And I put this online as well. I certainly hope that this is Dementia Joe trying to drag her to hell down with him, because the Democrats all screwed him by forcing him to get out of office. Kamala was waiting in the wings to put the last knife in his back to get rid of him so she could step in the limelight. And I'm here for it. Where is my sound? What is going on with sound here lately? You have this and you have no sound. Let's try refreshing it. Hold on. Oh, here we go. No, we don't. Bullshit. That's true. They do that. They get this initial report for the jobs report and how the numbers look. And the initial one they get, the estimate is always higher than what the jobs report actually is. So of course, and both on it, to be honest, both sides will do this. So the Democrats put out the initial one that looks well, and then all of the figures catch up, and then they put out the more realistic one, and then you find that it's garbage. But it gets buried in the headlines by the initial one they put out there, and then they try to bullshit you that's a jobs report that out and it's really good. When the initial comes out, you see that it's garbage, and but by then they're already ahead of the narrative with it. You guys do the exact same thing. No, they're not. All right, that was idiot, brain dead, oatmeal brain, dementia Joe. They didn't have, I don't know why these idiots put this here, because that's not the clip where he says that. But many conservative commentators said Friday that President Biden tying Vice President Kamala Harris so closely to his administration's record is a boon to former President Trump's campaign. For the first time, Biden made an appearance during a White House press briefing where he spoke briefly about the averted port worker strike, Friday's positive job numbers, and announced that he may request additional money from Congress to fund Hurricane Helene relief efforts. Biden was asked what role Harris has played amid numerous crises at home and abroad. Well, I'm in consistent contact with her. She's aware we all were singing from the same song sheet. That was a clip that was supposed to be there. This is this idiot's words, not mine. She helped pass all the laws that are being employed, said Biden. This is all damning right here, because all of their failures, all of the people that are suffering in North Carolina, Georgia, etc., he's linking her in right with him. Like, she's not a separate person. She's fucking up right here with me. Now she was a major player in everything we've done, including passage of legislation, which we were told we could never pass. And so her and her staff has been interlocked with mine in terms of all the things we're doing, Biden continued. I mean, she is just wrapping his legs right around hers and trying to sink her to the bottom of the political lake. As Harris seeks to turn the page on Biden's embattled presidency, conservatives on social media call this a gift to the Trump campaign. Fox News contributor Joe Concha mocked the statement by writing, "Look, Ma, a campaign ad." All right, he probably has it here. Let's see if we can get it here. Contact. I'm sorry. Wah, wah. I'm going to post that on my page. So there you go, where he basically a Trump campaign ad. If you think the shit stuff that the Kamala's a different candidate that just walked right out of the dark and said, "Here, I'm here to help everyone." Nope, she's interlocked by Dementia Joe's own words that they're all working together. And you're the shit that you're getting from him, you're getting from her too. She's not a new awesome candidate. She's the same shit candidate that's been in administration for 4 years that's been screwing us all over. And some Chris Lacita just says, "I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message." Fox News contributor Guy Benson shared a similar quip: "I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message." That's a pretty good campaign ad for them. If Biden were actively trying to tank Kamala's campaign, what would he be doing differently? Biden says he's in constant contact with Kamala Harris. We're singing from the same song sheet. So there you go. They're together in the failures in North Carolina, Georgia, about helping people in this. So we'll move on to here. As Helene victims wait, FEMA funds run dry from illegal immigrant aid. Again, now, this is the Washington Times saying this. Now, remember, in the previous video I did, Karine Jean-Pierre said this was a lie. Now Newsbreak and the Washington Times are telling you this is in fact the truth, the reason FEMA doesn't have enough funds. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, this fucking failure, warned that the Federal Emergency Management Agency is out of money as it scrambles to help flood-ravaged areas of Georgia and North Carolina. Stranded residents are begging for help and reporting that the federal government has yet to show up or provide any aid in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. Mr. Mayorkas said FEMA needs additional federal funding, but Republicans in Congress are angry over the agency's massive spending on illegal immigrants. Yeah, while desperate flood victims await help more than a week after the storm. Donnie Loftus, a Republican in the state legislature, said Hendersonville, North Carolina, has seen no sign of FEMA or any other federal entity. I haven't seen any federal folks. I haven't seen FEMA or any local emergency crews. It's just neighbor helping neighbor, Mr. Loftus told the Washington Times. Mr. Loftus delivered much-needed supplies Thursday to a church in Hendersonville, about 30 minutes north of Asheville. It was one of the hardest-hit areas in the state. He said the church is providing supplies, water, and pet food to those impacted by the storm. Those supplies, Mr. Loftus said, came from nearby churches that rose to the occasion, not the state or federal government. I think it's insufficient, he said. People say they've seen nothing for the federal government out here. The criticism has risen with the revelations that the programs under FEMA spent more than $1 billion over the past 2 years, including $380 million allocated in late August to help communities settle thousands of illegal immigrants encountered at the southern border and released into communities across the U.S. The money was provided by Congress and signed into law by the president, specifically to pay for housing and services for illegals who have flooded into the U.S. in record numbers under the Biden regime. So look, our fellow Americans are suffering in North Carolina right now, in Georgia right now, but we're short on money because we helped a whole bunch of people that broke our laws, snuck into this country, should not be here, and now are hanging out doing nothing, asking for handouts of the taxpayers' hard-earned money. At a campaign rally, former President Trump said President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris had again put migrants ahead of Americans. The Harris-Biden administration says they don't have any money. They spend it all on illegal migrants, Mr. Trump told the crowd, and President Trump, you shitbags, told the crowd in Saginaw, Michigan. He said the administration stole the FEMA money just like they stole it from a bank so they could give it to their illegal immigrants that they want to have vote for them this season. Mr. Trump called it the worst response in the history of hurricanes. A certain president, I will not name him, destroyed his reputation with Katrina, and this is doing even worse, Mr. Trump said in a reference to Bush. Yeah, Bush was a shitbag too. House Oversight Accountability Committee Chairman James Comer, Kentucky Republican, said American citizens were again paying the price for Biden-Harris regime's self-inflicted border crisis. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris must put Americans first and take action now to reverse their open border policies that are bleeding Americans dry, he told the Times. And that's 100% correct. So I know there's one guy, and I think I posted up some of his stuff. He's out there with a crew, with his buddies that are just, they're, let's see what Viva Frey had to say. How in the hell does the Director of Public Affairs of FEMA lock their Twitter account during an emergency? Yeah, because of all the pushback they're getting. Jacqueline Rothenberg, this shitbag. Biden-Harris appointee. Did you need to see anything else in that? Biden-Harris appointee. That tells you everything you need to know about the failures of FEMA right there. We got London today. Another Palestinian march disrupting England. All they do is march and complain about the country that let them in so they could fuck it up. So let me see my profile here. And let me see if I put up the guy that's been making runs into there, because if, you know, people can reach out to him or work with him and help him out, I'm sure he would appreciate it. This fucking fag, Emhoff, fucking queer. Look at this beta faggot. But apparently he beats up women and cheats on his spouses with the babysitter. So they're calling him hashtag Slugger Doug. I got the news story about him beating up an ex-girlfriend. Yeah, this is a good statement right here. Victim of Hurricane Helene. And there's this shitbag Zelensky, this embezzling piece of shit, taking billions more of American taxpayer dollars. That's the DUI photo of Tim Walz when he got arrested on a DUI and then pretended he was deaf. So here's Booty Judge. What'd you say? The airspace is queer? So absolute lies and bullshit from Booty Judge. Let's see if I post that guy. I might have just responded to him. I might not have actually retweeted him. Yeah. Oh. I don't remember if I was following him or he is popping up quite a bit. Bear with me 1 second here. We got, I follow Guntherman Eagleman. I think he follows me as well. Don't quote me on that. I do follow him though. He's got quite a following. Alex Jones, of course. Tim Cast is in Butler, PA. The new leader of Hezbollah, Mia Khalifa. Oh God, this fucking dude in England or something, some fucking tranny. Hodge twins. Andy No covering stuff. Black insurrectionist. Elon Musk has been calling all this out, this as well. So, you know, he's got a huge platform, obviously. So I'm glad he's doing that. Well, it wasn't Retro Coast. I think it might have been somebody else that was doing it. I'm not sure who. I can't remember his name now. I always love the Babylon Bee. Drowning hurricane victim relieved as rescue chopper drops $750 check. All right, I can't find him. I do my best to retweet some of this stuff. If you guys can, like, subscribe, and follow the show on Rumble and YouTube as well. With the YouTube having issues, I would just encourage everybody to come on over to Rumble and find me on Matt Ventilator, and then find my page here as well on X. And I try to keep everybody up to date with the newest stuff that's going on and what everyone's talking about. All right, so let's move on with the show. As you're hearing about Will Ferrell, he's got his Netflix special coming out. About his tranny friend from Saturday Night Live. Just disgusting that this loser, most of Hollywood is all completely fucked in the head. But Will Ferrell has been going on supposed to be a funny road trip with his tranny, mentally ill friend. And apparently they got booed and weren't received well at a Texas restaurant. I wish I'd walked in and said, no, he said, this is going to be terrible. Let's just go, Ferrell said. Actor Will Ferrell said he regrets a visit to a Texas restaurant after his trans co-star, Harper Steele, received an awkward response from diners. It happened while Ferrell and Steele, a former Saturday Night Live head writer, were filming the new Netflix documentary Will and Harper, which follows their 17-day road trip across the country to bond and reintroduce Harper to the country as her true self, or a mentally ill dude wearing a dress, after Steele came out as transgender in 2022. They received what they described as an unexpected and uncomfortable response from the diners at a Texas restaurant after Steele mentioned the state hadn't done enough for trans rights. Yeah, we need to do stuff for trans rights. You guys all need to go in a mental institution. That's the thing we need to do. I'm from Iowa, but I will raise a glass to your great state of Texas, Steele said to a receptive audience of diners at the Big Texan Steak Ranch in Amarillo, where Ferrell and Steele plan to attempt the restaurant's famous 72-ounce steak challenge. Here's that old disgusting man who believes he's a woman. It's absolutely disgusting. I wish you guys would do more for trans rights in the state, Steele added, which silenced the cheers and was met with a few groans from the audience. Cheers to Texas and trans rights, right? Ferrell added. The toast didn't make it into the documentary, but Steele and Ferrell shared their responses to the moment afterward. The room started to feel very wrong to me, Steele said in the film. I was feeling a little like my transness was on display. Well, it is, and you're on a road trip to shove it down everyone's throats. But now that this dude is not being received with the parade from everybody over being a mentally ill dude in a dress, then it turns into, and they do this every single time, then it turns into they clutch their pearls and they're like, I felt like my transness was on this display. And then everyone was looking at me. Bitch, they are looking at you. You're a dude in a dress and you're mentally ill. Of course they're fucking looking at you. You're trying to shove everyone down, this crap down everyone's throat. And then you're upset if you don't get a fucking round of applause because your brain's broken. This is how they all work, all of them. The saddest part for me is I feel like I let you down in that moment, Ferrell said in the response. No, Will, you've let us all down. You're a mentally ill tranny lover. I didn't really have a grasp on how intense it was going to be and felt, because you live in a Hollywood left-wing bubble and you think all of this is normal and you think all of it's okay. Will Ferrell and these others have no clue about what the American people are going through, no clue about how the people really feel about this mentally ill crap. How intense it was going to be, and felt responsible for not properly vetting the situation we were putting ourselves in. Right. You wanted to go to all friendly, all-inclusive places that would all welcome you with hugs and open arms, and not any real places where they don't accept your bullshit. That felt like it was going to be this benign place where you eat a big steak in the amount of time, and then you walk in and there's 1,000 people seated in this room. And I was like, oh, why are we here? Steele described the feeling of being on display in that moment. We gave a little toast. I said something about passing a trans bill, and the room did a kind of reversal and a little bit of a boo, and a woman shouted out, "We still love you." I hate the phrase, Steele said. I could be misrepresenting this woman completely, but this is the feeling I had in the room. The still is conditional. You still love me when I finally gave up being trans and gave my life over to Christ. They still love me even though I'm some kind of sinner or something like that. I felt that. I wished I'd walked in and said, no, this is going to be terrible. Let's just go, Farrell said in response. I was feeling that remorse and guilt of even going there. Steele had previously criticized the New York Times in an interview with The Independent as generally left-leaning, but also sometimes very anti-trans. It's odd. It's why I first tend to ask reporters who interview if they believe in me, Steele added in that interview. Do they believe that I exist and I'm valid? No, we don't. Anybody worth half their salt should say, no, you don't, and you are not valid. Because that's not always part of the conversation. I like to start there because there are many people in the liberal community who can't seem to get their heads around it for one reason or another. Farrell also said that transphobia comes from people not being confident in themselves. We're all fine. We don't want to be like literally mentally ill people interacting and being around our children, and me having to go into a store and seeing a dude wear lipstick and a dress. That is not about me not being confident about myself. That's like watching a pedophile walk in and try to kidnap children. If I have a problem with a pedophile trying to kidnap children, is that because I have a confidence issue? No, because I'm watching a horribly mentally ill, disgusting act happen right before my very eyes. It has zero to do with confidence. And Will Ferrell's a fucking moron for saying this. And it's the same thing when I'm watching a tranny go by. I'm watching a disgusting thing, a mutated, mentally ill human being walk by me, walk right in front of me and my children. That's my problem. Not a confidence issue. Nothing to do with confidence whatsoever. But nice try. It's so strange to me because Harper is finally her. You mean him, idiot. He added. She's finally who she was always meant to be. No, she was a man. She was born a man. She's supposed to still be a man right now. Whether or not you can ultimately wrap your head around that, why would you care if somebody's happy? I care that I have to fucking deal with them. Why is that threatening to you? Because they're in my face and I don't want to deal with them. They're mentally ill. If the trans community is a threat to you, I think it stems from not being confident or safe with yourself. No, I think you like trannies because you're a Hollywood freak and you probably wish that dude's cock was in your mouth. That's the reason you love your little tranny buddy. And I just fucking clicked right out of the Doug Emhoff fucking thing. Unbelievable. Because I'm too busy on a rant. Sorry, guys. This is Newsweek, so we'll see what Newsweek has to say. Vice President Harris' husband, Doug Emhoff, has been accused of slapping a former girlfriend more than a decade ago, according to a DailyMail.com report. Emhoff has denied the allegations. Of course he is. The second gentleman allegedly struck the woman in the face while waiting in a valet line after an event during the Cannes Film Festival in France in May of 2012. 3 unnamed friends told the outlet. The outlet has a right-wing bias, according to All Sides, which estimates the perceived political bias of content in online news outlets. So now they're trying to say because of their bias, the story isn't real. The woman had been dating Emhoff for about 3 months at the time of the alleged assault, the outlet reported, after connecting on a dating site, Match.com. A spokesman for Emhoff told Semaphore in a statement, the report is untrue, and any suggestion that he would or has ever hit a woman is false. Newsweek has contacted Emhoff as well as Harris's office and campaigned for comment via email. DailyMail.com did not name the woman, instead using the pseudonym of Jane and describing her only as a successful New York attorney. However, a video from the event shows a woman in a red dress with Emhoff, and screen grabs are posted on social media by Sean Davis, the CEO and co-founder of The Federalist, a conservative online magazine. The friends who spoke to the outlet were also not named, which DailyMail.com says because they feared retaliation. The report came as Emhoff, an entertainment lawyer, has been hitting the campaign trail in support of Harris. If she wins the presidency in November, he would be the nation's first gentleman and first queer, too. The alleged assault is said to have occurred more than a year before Harris and Emhoff met in a blind date set by a mutual friend in 2013. They married in 2014. Jane's friends told the DailyMail.com that she had received tickets to attend the Foundation for AIDS Research Gala dinner, which was held on May 24, 2012 at the Hotel Ducap, or Ducap, however the French say it, in Antibes near Cannes, and brought Emhoff as her guest. They provided photos of the woman posing with Emhoff at the gala, as well as documentation with details about their trip to the south of France around the time of the alleged assault. So the people are providing receipts. One friend told the dailymail.com that Jane had called him sobbing shortly after the alleged assault occurred. I don't know whether to call the French police. I couldn't get a hold of her after calling back, he said. It was not clear if the alleged assault was reported to authorities. The friend said Jane had provided details in later conversations. It was something like 3 a.m. They were trying to get out of there, and they both had been drinking. There was a gigantic line for taxis, he said. She went up to one of the valet guys, offered him 100 euros or whatever to get to the head of the line. She told me she put her hand on his shoulder. Doug apparently thought that she was flirting and came over and slapped her in the face, and she slapped him back. The friend said Jane had told him she ended her relationship with Emhoff that night. A second friend, a female attorney, told dailymail.com that Jane had also told her about the alleged assault. She was completely caught off guard, the friend said. He hauled up and slapped her so hard she spun around. She said she was in utter shock. She was so furious, she slapped him on one side and then on the other cheek with the other hand. They remember quite a lot of details for something that didn't happen, according to beta male Emhoff. The third friend said Jane had first told her in 2014 that she had dated Emhoff and detailed the alleged assault in 2018 when Harris, then a senator, was making headlines about her questioning of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. You remember she couldn't remember the when Harris, then a senator, was making headlines about questioning Supreme Court over allegations of sexual misconduct. You remember during that Brett Kavanaugh thing, that woman, whatever that stupid bitch's name was, she couldn't remember one fact. She got the house wrong. She got the party wrong. She got everything wrong. She just wished she was there and getting nailed by Kavanaugh. But she was an absolute wild, crazy leftist liar. And just like that one, the crazy old bitch that was going against Trump, and the crazy cat lady who made up all these allegations that she was raped in a Macy's changing room. She's another batshit crazy person that's completely out of her mind. The allegations came after Emhoff acknowledged in August that he had an affair during his first marriage to Kristen Emhoff after alleged details about it were published by dailymail.com. The outlet reported that Emhoff had an affair with a woman who was a nanny to his children and taught at their school. During my first marriage, Kirsten and I went through some tough times on an account of actions. I took responsibility, and in the years since, we worked through things as a family and have come out stronger on the other side, Emhoff said in a statement provided to CNN. Kirsten Emhoff, a film producer, also issued her own statement. Doug and I decided to end our marriage for a variety of reasons many years ago. She said, he's a great father to our kids, aside from being a cheater. Continues to be a great friend to me, and I'm really proud of the warm and supportive blended Doug, Kamala have built together. Yeah, you can deal with this cheating, physical abuse. The pair were married in 1992 and have two children, Cole and Ella Emhoff. They divorced in 2010. And is there anyone that believes this is a lie? These beta male queers are always the ones that they want to pretend they're a feminist. They want to pretend they're on the girl's side. They want to, they're a different type of man. And what do they do in the meantime when they get a little huffy puffy? They hit their spouse, they hit their girlfriend, and then they fool around with whatever other girl for whatever crazy reason finds him attractive and wants to do something with him or wants some money, wants some money from them. So in my personal opinion, I 100% believe this scumbag hit his girlfriend at the time and that cheated on the other ex-wife. He's a beta male loser, but I absolutely believe that he had tiny little balls enough to do all this. So, okay, where are we? So we're getting to, I want to jump around too much here. Okay, so we're getting to the Palestine-Israel war. The fighting is still ongoing, but I wanted to show you one thing here where the Iranian missile strike was mostly all taken out. None of the missiles were really successful. They hit a couple targets. No one was killed. They just did a little bit of damage. But here's one video right here where they end up taking out one of their own. An Iranian missile gets hit by an Israeli interceptor and falls right on a Palestinian. So check this video out. I didn't put this out. The Free Press Journal did. So you're going to see the guy just kind of muted out there. But you're going to see the missile drop right on him while he's waiting to cross the road or something. Check this out. We don't need the music. Watch. He's going across the street. Boom! Oh my God. Missile wreckage kills a young man from Jericho. Now, most Palestinians are either terrorists themselves or terrorist supporters. So Iran essentially killed one of their own. But boom! Look at that. The incident occurred in Jabalia involving a young man from Jericho. Man was walking when the missile struck. Bah! Look, and it sends he ragdolls, and he gets thrown. He died instantly upon impact. There's people standing around him. They're covering him up with something. Whew. So all Iran did was take out its own crew. We here in this show support Israel. We don't support terrorists in Palestine. We don't support Iran, and we don't support Hezbollah in Lebanon either. So I just wanted to show that video. I know it's mean of me, but I got a chuckle out of that. So we're going to get to Russia attacking a NATO checkpoint here. So still ongoing fighting between Russia and Ukraine. I don't care about Ukraine, but this can again lead to higher escalation, just like the Israeli conflicts with Hamas and Hezbollah. But a Russian drone strike has hit a Ukrainian border crossing with NATO member Romania, according to reports. The Orlivka, I see a checkpoint where a ferry connects Ukraine's Odessa region with Romania was suspended Wednesday morning after the incident, Ukraine State Border Guard Service said. Ukrainian Customs wrote on Telegram that ferry services at the checkpoint had been halted until 11 a.m. local time Wednesday following a night attack of the enemy. After 11 a.m., it issued an update about the crossing that reopened and operations had resumed. Here's the tweet here. Russian forces targeted port and border infrastructure in Odessa region overnight. Let's open this. People were injured, including a Turkish citizen. Border crossing on the Ukraine-Romania border is temporarily closed. This is the aftermath of the strike. The Russians deliberately fired at the checkpoint, making it difficult for ordinary people to cross the border. This is terror against the civilian population, Regional Governor Oleg Kipper posted on Telegram. Law enforcement officials are recording the consequences of another crime committed by the Russians, his post added, according to a translation. And this is a little bit of an escalation of the Russians hitting like NATO-affiliated things. Just earlier, like last week, I think earlier this week or last week, a Russian warship fired a warning shot at I believe, a Norwegian fishing vessel. And they were in their own waters, and they're a NATO country. So, that was an action that was taken by Russia. Now you have them hitting a NATO-controlled checkpoint. This only increases allegations and the potential that this is going to turn into a larger conflict with the way Russia's pushing. And we can't seem to learn our lesson, so we keep supporting Russia. And, it's a stupid thing to do. Okay, so I'm still going to get, how long are these? That one's 10 minutes. We've got there's been proof of Iran leaking information from the Trump campaign and offering it as money to the Democrats. And, you think Iran is getting this information, they're selling it to whoever wants it. You believe that the Democrats, who are, in my personal opinion, are trying their best to get rid of President Trump. They call him a dictator. They call him a Nazi. They call him an enemy to democracy. That's all wording to say you need to get rid of this guy. You need to eliminate him. Now Iran is stealing information, and this has been proven. They're trying to sell it with the Democrats, and the Democrats claim they turned it down. I don't personally believe that. But and they're offering it to, all of these bidders that can take it, and that's how they're finding out where the Trump campaign is going to be, and where they can set up these hits. So Iran is interfering in our elections in an attempt to kill Trump because they know Trump's going to take a hard line on them. Dementia Joe and Comrade Kamala won't do that at all. But I wanted to finish here just to get caught up. I wanted to finish here with one of the most recent things that Comrade Kamala did, trying to virtue signal and apply out there to the American people, was her interview on Oprah. And and people are saying this, I'm a little behind the ball on this, granted, but people are saying this was, scripted. It was absolute propaganda. There were absolute cringe moments. They brought on celebrity stars via video to ask questions, the left-wing Hollywood shitbags that you all can't rely on, but they want you to believe you should vote their way. And let's take a look at some of it. So this is from Sky News Australia. Now, some of that is true. She wants to get the $25,000 to mostly people of color and minorities. She screws over white people because she's a racist, even though she's married to a white guy, ironically. But the 25,000 to people who can't afford homes. So they're playing it off as a token thing to help people out. But then you're going to get into the mortgage payments and the inflation of everything, and then you're going to get fucked. But she's going to help you on your route to get fucked. And all of these people are either YouTubers or other, like that stupid white guy saying that, are just left wing, beta dudes for Kamala, like losers. What? So I come from a small town. Oh, there's no answer yet. Yeah, we fucking know. God, I hate YouTube and his fucking shit commercial. Some shit game. He's right. People joining us on YouTube. I see some people coming in. I apologize. The sound for videos is screwed up. You can hear me. None of the videos I play are doing sound. No idea why this is happening. I've written to YouTube. I've yet to get an answer yet. I am trying to fix it. I invite you all for anything that you're missing. Please come over and find me on Rumble. If you want to check out more of the show at Matt Ventilator, all one word, you'll see the Relief Valve Podcast logo. Come over there and you'll get the full thing because we're having technical difficulties over there. Whoever comes to rob my house is getting shot. She just comes out and says it like it's a joke. But in the meantime, she wants more gun laws against all of us. She wants to take our guns away and our rights away. But she's joking about how she allegedly has a gun and she'll shoot anybody trying to break into her house. Think about the hypocrisy of the radical left and the Democrats who have guns. You remember in the past when Dementia Joe was talking about his 4-barrel shotgun? He had like the Looney Tunes gun or whatever. And he's like, oh, well, just if somebody's trying to break into your house, just fire up in the air in your own house while people could be upstairs or your children could be upstairs. Fire a warning shot up into your ceiling and up into the upstairs bedrooms. These fucking moron Democrats are the worst gun owners and the most dangerous gun owners you could ever find. I've been a gun owner for over 6 years. I'm on the third renewal of my gun license at this point. I have had precisely 0 issues. I have never had an incident. I've never even had to draw on anybody. I've had it for the safety of the family, and for the most part, break-ins or anything happens. But they're joking about it, how they're going to shoot somebody. In the meantime, I have to be worried, depending on the state that I'm in, and I'm in a blue state, that if my life's not in danger, I can't shoot the guy who's trying to rob this and maybe has a knife and is threatening my family. That's not quite far enough. I've got to take it easy, and I've got to let him steal my stuff and then wait for the cops to show up. I'm not allowed to do anything. In the meantime, you got Democrats that are gun owners that want to take your rights away. It's talking about how she's going to start blasting as soon as somebody walks in. Yeah, dummy. Crazy joker, mental case. All right, let's get some more stuff here. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Hey, do I have a plan? No. But I want you all to have joy while you're living on your roof in a hurricane ravaged area that we're not going to help you with. I want you to feel joy. When we take your gun rights away, I just want you to be you and feel joy. When we fuck you over and we overtax you so you can pay for illegal immigrants and we can open up the border to all of them, just be you. Just be joy and be you. This has essentially been her campaign slogan. Be you, be happy, be joy. It's some kind of like Timu's version of a Nike commercial. Be you, just do it, be joy. Fuck off. Go hang out with the neighbor, drink a beer, sit naked in your driveway. Joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. And then when it comes to a plan of what she's got, there is no plan. I know the Democrats and these stupid people that popped up on here are trying to talk about the plan that she has. There is no plan. She's gone to the border to talk about how she's going to be strong with the border while having never visited the border, never in the 4 years she's been in office, and in fact voting to make sure it stays open and allow illegals in. Now she's doing a scene to show all the reporters and all the people that she's on the border meeting with the agents, and now she feels strongly about the border because maybe they've gotten enough legals in that they can sway the voting to their way. She's bullshitting about that. No tax on tips. She bullshitted about that too. That was Trump's idea. And she actually was the tie-breaking vote to make sure that you went after people who were not claiming their tips and winnings and other stuff on taxes properly. Now she wants to let you keep your tips in the industry that you're in. She has no plan. She steals from others, or it's what her team gives her. She's a liar. She's brain dead in a different way from Dementia Joe. Dementia Joe's brain's oatmeal. It doesn't work anymore. She is a professional useless and a professional stupid person. She has no personality. It's all stolen, whatever she can find, including her stupid Joker laugh. She's not a person of any morals or any responsibility. She's not a person that's going to look out for you. She's going to lie in her own pockets and care about her own things. And then, whichever way the wind blows, when the radical left and the masses are pushing at her to do something. So there is no plan other than literally what she's saying at the end here: happy, happy, joy, joy. None of us do. We all are. I'm sorry about the music. It sucks. It's stupid. It's not me. It's them. I don't know why they put that over their own fucking news thing. It's the Australians. They're all backwards. Let me go. Let me go back on that a little bit. Basically, what you're getting. Look at her looking like what? And that's correct. As I said when I first started this, with the videos that were coming in from allegedly regular people, the two dumb lefty couple that was going to vote for, they had a slew of celebrities coming up on the wall above there and either showing their bullshit support or asking stupid questions. You know, Hollywood is radically left. They're all a bunch of pedophiles and children's blood and whatever the fuck else those losers are doing out there. But they're all about supporting the radical left-wing base and the Democrats. So, of course, they came in to fawn over her, ask stupid questions. They didn't see it in there, but that's what she's referencing. Yeah, that would be good. So there you go. We're completely caught up for now. So just to kind of reiterate for everybody here, thanks for everybody that's joined the stream and still with us between YouTube and Rumble. I'm kind of monitoring everything and the chats. This is my X page. So that's the Relief Valve podcast. Let me bring up the I wanted to bring up the full thing profile. So the Relief Valve podcast on X. You can also write into the show at reliefvalvepodcast at AOL.com. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Rumble. I'm having technical difficulties with the YouTube. I've reached out to them and I'm trying to figure out what the deal is or what's going on. And I'm hoping to hear something back or make some headway with it. So I'm going to keep streaming on YouTube and hopefully that can get worked out. Because, you know, we were increasing listeners on there as well and branching out a bit. And then on Rumble, where we're safer and there's actually better freedom of speech, we're on Rumble and we're increasing the base over there too. So I ask everyone, you know, I'm rebuilding from the left-wing purge on X. You know, I had well over 1,000 people when I was on here before. Now I'm at like the 150s, 160s, and I'm trying to get back up there again with having the freedom to actually say things. And kind of rebuilding my base for you know the show as well. So I was building a base on TikTok. I had 1,000 people over there, and I was trying to bring them over. And the purge ended up happening on there as well. So I lost all of them. You know, please like, share, support the show, and subscribe, and you know, tell your friends and bring others over here too if you're enjoying it. All right, thanks everyone, and we'll talk to you again soon.